studio for a few hours, just cleaning, getting things back to normal, making sure that when we get to open and have you all here again, that things are clean and comfortable and bright and happy. So I hope you're all staying safe. This is the first video. I'm just doing this simply on my iPhone and just going to post it very simply. We're going to keep building from here. We're going to get Odile in to do one of her Pilates classes, and we'll get all of our teachers to come in and do classes, hopefully once a week, until we're back in full session. So what I wanted to start you with was a nice, easy Kundalini in sitting position, so we can really move some of this energy that has been a little bit intense for many of us. Sitting with legs crossed if that's comfortable, using a bolster under your sit bones if that's better. If your knees tend to flare up, you can put a block or a pillow underneath. So whatever you have at home that's comfortable, please use that. And if you wear glasses, good time to take them off. So we're going to start nice and easy with just a little breath work, which is going to help calm the nervous systems by closing the eyes very gently, bringing your attention inside. And the first thing we want to check in on is to see if the way you're sitting feels comfortable. If not, take a moment and shift. The next thing we want to focus on is our breath. We want to become aware of the inhale as it naturally flows into the body, and the exhale as it naturally flows out. With no control, with just that observer mind, we're feeling the cool air coming in to expand the chest and belly in all directions. And we're feeling as that warm air leaves the body, cleansing and calming us. Next few moments, just continue watching the breath. Good. And then let's begin to work with the natural movement. So as your next inhale begins, push out on the high belly, the mid belly, the low belly, so you're expanding into the low lung. Pause. Exhale from the low belly to the mid belly to the upper belly, and squeezing gently all the stale air out of the low lung. Pause. In-breath begins again from the high belly to the mid to the low belly, and pause. On exhale, contracting from low belly to high belly, and pause. Continue that way. Next few breaths, maybe you're able to expand a little bit deeper into the inhale, and contract a little more strongly into the exhale. If you're comfortable using Ujjayi breath, there's just a slight tightening at the back of the throat that allows you to hear the movement of your own breath. And a few more. And as you've been engaging more and more in the abdominals, you may notice that as you took your inhale, you naturally went into an arching of the spine. And as you took your exhale, you naturally went towards neutral spine, or maybe even back into a rounded spine. So now we want to exaggerate that even more. Your next in-breath, intentionally draw the ribs forward, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back, and pause. And on the exhale, contract low belly, turning the tailbone gently under you. Start to round your spine and let your head just drop forward, and pause there. And we'll keep doing that. In breath, the head lifts towards the ceiling, the ribs expand forward, shoulders pull back. And the exhale, we start curling the tailbone under, engaging the belly and dropping the head. So we want to do at least 3 more of those. Keep it comfortable. If at any point you feel as though you're losing breath or you're not comfortable, feeling agitated, you want to take a pause. Come back to neutral breath. And then maybe do a few more using the abdominals and engaging. Good. When you're done with that, let's take one palm over the other and place the hands, let them sit just comfortably on your legs, closing the eyes for a moment. Just feel the neutral breath coming back to its normal movement, the coolness and the warmth. And then let's stay in that same spinal movement, but bring the right hand over to the left leg and the left hand over to the right leg. On our in-breath, we're going to lift the chest the same way, so there's a little bit of an arch, holding onto the legs wherever you're comfortable. On your exhale, curl under from the tailbone. Engage the belly and drop the head. Pause there, then inhale straight up through the top of the head to a neutral spine, a little bit of a lift through the ribs, and back again. Exhale. From low belly to high belly, we're massaging out the core, opening up spaces in the back of the body. You want to do several more of those, especially if you tend to hold tension right between the shoulder blades. So maybe on the next one, we'll come up and pause, and then take the arm that's on top and shift it under and grab hold, and we'll do the same movement. It should give you a little bit deeper stretch on the opposite shoulder. Maybe no change for you, but give it a try. So the in-breath, top of the head lifts. On out-breath, contracting the belly, tailbone under, heart back, head melting. And in-breath, lifting up through the top of the head. And at least 3 more of those. If it feels really good, please keep working with that. Keep warming it up. When you feel ready, you want a good grip on your legs. Again, wherever you're holding them. You want the belly engaged. You want the head gently falling forward. And you want to feel the sense that you're pulling your heart back away from the legs. And you're sending your breath right into the back of the body. So that space between the shoulder blades is opening. If it's really tight, hang out for a bit. But when you're ready, you'll inhale, lifting the top of the head, taking one palm over the other palm, closing the eyes for a moment, and just feel what's happening in the spine, in the core. Maybe a little bit of warmth starting to rise up from the chest. And then find your breath. See any changes there as well. From there, we're going to intensify that movement just a little bit. So we'll take the hands out, interlace. On the in-breath again, top of the head lift, same spinal movement. Your exhale, you're rolling back, engaging the belly, pulling the hands forward and dropping the head. And the in-breath, you're lifting straight up through the chest. And squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back. You want to do at least 3 more of those before you decide to stay. If it's really tight, for sure, you want to do more than 3. And when you're ready, you'll simply pull the heart and palms away from each other. Keep the abs engaged. Breathing into the back of the body. If there's a lot going on, stay a while. But when you're done, again, lift through the top of the head. The spine comes to neutral. And the hands drop onto the legs. We close our eyes, and once again, just see if there's some warmth rising through your core. And then start to feel into the natural rhythm of the breath. From here, let's give a little bit of a twist to the ribs, since so much of what's going on and around in our community is really affecting our ability to breathe. So let's make sure that we're keeping the lung capacity good and open and fresh, clean air coming deep into the lungs. So let's take the right hand behind the back, right up against your sacrum, right up against the space between your buttocks, and use that right hand to push you off of your tailbone. So it's actually a pretty aggressive movement. So the sit bones might still be down, but they may be lifted too. And the left hand is coming to the right leg. Again, wherever that's comfortable, either the knee, the thigh, the shin bone. If you're not sitting cross-legged, just make adjustments to where you grip the leg. On the in-breath, again, ribs pull gently forward. We push off the tailbone. On exhale, use that left arm to rotate your rib cage. The hips stay neutral. And on your inhale, relax the left arm and let the ribs float back to neutral. Again, on the exhale, we're going in, squeezing from the low belly to the high belly. We're turning the head, looking over the right shoulder, pausing, Inhale and bring that back up through center. Third one, you might be ready to come in and stay. So keep lifting off the tailbone, rotating through the shoulders, expanding the heart forward, and then turning the head so you're looking over your left shoulder. Maybe you feel a little release point somewhere along that shoulder or the neck. And when you choose to come out, let the head come back. As you inhale, release the arms, and that will bring the spine naturally back to center. Pause there a moment, and then we'll switch. Left hand, bring it again right up against the back of the spine, so down by the tailbone and above that triangular bone we call the sacrum. The right hand grabs the left leg, wherever it's comfortable. Push off the tailbone, lift the base of the ribs, exhale, rotate just the rib cage around, and on inhale, relax the arms, and you'll naturally float back to center. At least 2 more. Take your time. Keep it comfortable. If it feels like the ribs are resisting the movement, please don't force. And maybe on the 3rd time in, you're ready to stay. As you stay, keep using that left hand to push you forward off the tailbone. And then let's come in and release the neck, looking over the right shoulder. Some breaths there. If it's your tighter side, you want to stay a bit longer. If it's your looser side, you might release and go back to the first side. So rule of thumb, whenever we're doing a stretch one side at a time, if we discover one side to be tighter, we want to give it more time. When you're done, palm over palm, eyes closed. Once again, feel what's happening in the torso, in the neck, down the hands, into the fingers, and then notice your breath. Good. From here, we want to keep moving the spine in what we call that Kundalini movement. Really helps to charge up the spine, the immune system, really gets things going that we need activated. So we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. Hands are directly under the shoulder line if your wrists feel safe. If you have an issue with your wrists, you want to bring your hands slightly further forward than your shoulders, or make a fist and turn your knuckles down. You can also tent, what we call just pressing down with the fingers wide. So the fingers are down, but the palm is up. So make whatever accommodations you need, and then soften the heart. Just imagine that it's melting towards the thumbs. On the inhale, the ribs draw forward to the front of the mat, and the hips draw towards the back of the mat. Pause and feel that. Then start at the tailbone and rolling under nice and easy and round the spine. In breath, melt the heart, pull it forward, pull the tailbone back. And on exhale, roll through it. And on inhale, melt the heart and bring it down. So again, we want to do at least 3 of those. Maybe more, especially if there's a stiff or tender spot that you're noticing as you're rolling. When you're ready, you'll stay. Again, if it's stiff or tender, you're still rolling out. But when you decide to stay, you want to push through the floor with your palms. Let your head melt down. Engage the abdominals. Take several breaths right there, feeling your shoulder blades broadening off the back, and then turn the toes under. And very slowly start to bring the buttocks towards the heels. Once you're all the way down, walk the hands as far forward as you're able. Drop the forehead down onto the mat. Dig the fingertips into the floor, but lift the palms, the wrists, the elbows, the armpits up. And just take a few nice deep breaths, broadening the upper body, melting through the lungs, the heart. And to come up, we'll simply drop the palms, look towards the fingers, and bring ourselves up, keeping the heart nice and soft. We'll pause. From there, we're going to take the right leg all the way out to the side. We're going to walk the foot as far forward as we need to and as far out to the side as we need to start feeling an inner thigh stretch on that right leg. And then once it's comfortable and slightly deep, you'll start to press your buttocks towards the heels and just notice the change that creates. Probably will deepen it. So keep working in wherever you're comfortable. Again, the term we always use is comfortable and deep. And again, if your wrists are bothering you or you want to intensify that inner thigh stretch, come down onto your elbows or maybe placing blocks under your forearms. The more you push the buttocks back, the deeper the stretch. Again, the wider and further forward you walk those toes, the more intense. So a few nice deep breaths. Notice the intensity. If it's easy, if it's pretty intense, just make a note because we want to compare it in a moment to the other side. So right knee under you. We'll do the same on the left leg, floating it out to the side, beginning to walk it forward. Once you're in, comfortable and deep, you might challenge it further by taking buttocks towards the heels. Maybe once again, coming down onto your forearms, and stay and breathe. If you notice this is your tighter side, you want to stay here a while. If you notice the other side was tighter, you want to come back up and go back to the other side. Rule of thumb, always tighter side gets more time in a deep stretch. Good, when you're done with that, we're going to bring ourselves back up. Turn the right toes under, push back through your right heel, melt the heart. So we're in a calf stretch now. From there, you might choose to lift your left knee off the floor. That will definitely deepen the stretch. Pushing through the floor with your palms, letting the head melt down. Notice that right calf, softening it up, and then bringing both knees back to the floor. Turning left toes under, push through the heel. Again, melt the heart and push the palms away from the heel away from the palms. That's what will give you the power to stretch out the left calf. If, again, you want to go deeper, you'll bring it up through that right knee. And then, as always, if one is tighter, stick with it. Give it more time. Don't rush out, but when you're done, you'll bring both knees back to the floor. We'll come back in to cat-cows. And just notice if anything's changed. From here, you'll start walking your hands out in front. We'll come into heart opener with the forehead down, reaching forward through the palms, keeping your upper abdominals slightly engaged on this one. So we don't want the rib cage to collapse towards the floor. We want to keep a good grounding. We want to keep a good anchoring of the bottom of the rib cage so it prevents us from going into hyperextension in your thoracic spine, in your mid-back and upper back. So some nice deep breaths with the arms stretching out in front, the forehead down. And then let's turn the elbows out to the sides of the mat and turn the palms towards each other, but don't let them touch. So you want about an inch or so away from each other. And then we'll drop the head and look to one elbow. Again, keep that upper abdominal just slightly engaged so the thoracic spine doesn't go into hyperextension. If this is intense, if your neck or the front of the shoulder is not comfortable here, you're just scooting buttocks slightly or all the way back towards your heels. The same piece of work can be done somewhere between full form and modified form. Then we'll inhale, lift the head, center it, and look the other direction. Elbows wide. Nice deep breaths. And again, if there's a tighter side, we want to return to it, spend more time on it. And then when you're done, we'll come back to heart opener. Palms out in front, forehead down, dig the fingertips down, lift the palms, wrist, elbows, and armpits up, and just melt right through the chest. At least 3 big breaths right through there. And then let's walk the hands under the shoulders and push back up to all fours. Once again, we want to see if that changed anything in the mid-back, the upper back. Sometimes when we release the upper spine, the lower spine responds as well. So just check it out, see how you're doing. And then from here, we'll take it deep into the outer leg. So we'll come into what I call a cow face warm-up. The right knee comes forward. We turn the foot out to the side. And then we bring the left knee in behind the right one. And we turn that left foot out to the side. We inhale, look forward. And we exhale, folding the elbows, dropping the belly, pulling the buttocks back, and melting through the head. Nice deep stretch through the outer hips. Don't go back too far if it's sensitive or sore. Inhale and bring it back up. Good, we're going to keep doing that. Same side, again, warming things up always. Elbows bend, belly drops, buttocks pull back. We melt through the head, and we inhale and take it back up. If it's really tight, you want to keep warming that up. And finally, when you're ready to stay, you'll simply squeeze your thighs together, flex your feet, walk your hands forward, drop the head. Here again, we can dig fingertips down, lift the palms, wrist, elbows, and armpits up, so we're releasing tension out of the upper back. A few nice deep breaths into that. And then we'll look forward, drop the palms, bring ourselves back up, and unwind the legs. Pause a moment and then switch sides. So left foot in front, left knee in front, right knee behind. Feet wider than hips, inhale. Exhale, fold the elbow, drop the belly, pull the buttocks back, pause and feel that. Inhale and take it back up. Again, if you notice the side's tighter, be easy, be gentle. Warm up a few extra times before you stay. And once you're ready to stay, just engage as far back as is comfortable. Squeeze the thighs, flex the feet. Broad walking forward through the hands, letting the head melt down. Again, activate the shoulder blades, let them rise with the elbows and the palms. Deep, deep breaths. If this side's tighter, stay a while. If the other side was tighter, go back there. And when you feel like you're done, lift back up to all fours. Uncross the legs. Let's go back in and roll the spine out. Nice and easy. Good. And then turning toes under, draw the buttocks back towards the heels. Let the toes stretch out, the feet stretch out. And then we'll bring ourselves up to whatever sitting position is comfortable for you. You can sit legs crossed, you can sit with legs tucked under you. We're going to use a strap, so if you need to take a minute and go grab one, a strap, a bathrobe if you don't have a bathrobe tie, if you don't have one handy, a belt, anything will work. So, when you're ready, again, sitting comfortably, whatever that means to you, we're going to take our hands out in front, broaden them out on the strap so the hands are shoulder distance apart. If we're out too wide, we're going to miss this first piece of warm-up, and if they're in too close, it'll really limit your ability to lift the arms. So with palms comfortably planted, shoulder width apart, we'll inhale, engaging that upper abdominal so you keep the rib cage from popping up. As you inhale, the arms are lifting, the ribs stay stable, pausing, and as you exhale, you're going to drop your wrists back down. Again, in breath, engage the upper abs, keep your rib cage stable, lifting up, slightly gently pull your hands away from each other. We're going to take 2 breaths right there. And then on the second exhale, we're bringing our arms back down. The second one, the third one, we're going to come up again. Keep the base of your ribs drawn down, pulling the palms away from each other. Keep the rib cage anchored so we don't actually start to use different muscles. We really want to keep this focused in the shoulders and the arms. One more moment, and then drop the hands down. Good, so you should feel some activation in your arms, but you shouldn't feel pain or tiredness, so it shouldn't fatigue you. We're going to take the hands a little bit wider, actually a lot wider. And on the in-breath again, we're lifting, engaging the upper abs, so keep the ribs stable. And then take your arms as wide as you need to, so you can actually pull your arms back behind you. Again, don't let the rib cage pop up. Lift your gaze, and on your exhale, you're bringing your arms back and down. Second time, we're going to go in and stay for 2 breaths. So base of the ribs stays grounded, arms lift up and slightly behind. Again, take care here. Pull the hands away from each other for 2 breaths. And then on an exhale, we'll bring the arms back to neutral. Third time, we'll stay at least 3 breaths. If this feels really important for you, either really challenging or really helpful, you want to stay a little bit longer. So as we pull the hands away from each other, you might be able to feel that your shoulder blades are pressing down onto the mid-back. So that's what we're looking for, shoulder blades working, working, working. That's your rhomboid muscle. We want to keep that healthy and strong. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down for a moment. Just close your eyes and see what's happening through the chest, through the upper back, maybe the neck, maybe even down to the fingertips. Check in. Feel your breath. And then let's take an inhale and lift the arms back up. Your hands can be in the same position you just had them. We're going to switch things up a little bit. So your right arm is going to come up to the side of your head, and your left arm is pulling back behind you. Pull the hands away from each other for a moment, and then inhale and bring your right arm up right alongside of the head, and that's your left arm, and pull your right arm behind you. Again, pull the hands away from each other, nice and easy. And then we'll come for 2 breaths to each side. So your right arm is lifting, side of the head, touching, pulling back through your left wrist, pull the hands away from each other, and up we go. With the left arm coming right up alongside the head, and that right hand pulling back and away from the left hand. We're taking 2 breaths this time and switching back. Through time, we'll take 3 breaths. So right arm up, left hand pulling back. Nice deep breaths. Again, if this feels important, stay more than 3. Switching when you feel ready. Left arm up, right arm back. Hands pull away from each other. Good. And then when you're done, we'll take both hands down. Let's release the strap. Place one palm over the other. Close the eyes. Go inside and feel what's happening now. Good. Our last piece is going to be a mobilization of the neck. So as we inhale, we want to look up. As we exhale, we want to pull down. We want to do just a few of those, lifting the chin, the top of the head. Exhale, tucking the chin, pausing. And one more, lifting. And exhale and bring it down. Good, back to neutral. We're simply going to turn the head this time. So looking over one shoulder, pause, and exhale back to center. Looking over the other shoulder and pause, and take that back to center. We want to do 3 to each side. Some of you might be noticing that you can turn more to one side than the other. So if that's true, on your third one, you want to come into the side that feels limited and stay a little bit longer. And when you're done, we'll roll the chin to center and just let the head hang for a few breaths. And then we'll lift the head up. Good. So now we're moving into the sides of the neck. Lateral movement is often the one that's more limited. So we're going to drop one ear, pause and feel that, and then lift the head through center. And then the other ear, drop it, and inhale it up to center. Side to side. Nice and easy, don't get yourself dizzy. Good. When you feel like you're ready to stay on the tighter side. Usually, again, here, you'll find you have one. And your ear is trying to touch the shoulder, and then we can bring the opposite hand to the side of the head. So if your head is dropping left, it's your right hand sitting on the side of the head, and vice versa. Good, so nice and easy. No pulling, just letting that arm be heavy, letting the head drop. And then we want to challenge the chin to roll. So we're looking into that left armpit, and the hand is now sitting on the back of your head. From there, let's lift the opposite hand straight up to the ceiling, and then bend the elbow so you can try and touch the fingertips to that shoulder blade. Some of you will get there, some of you won't. If the stretch on the neck is better here, stay there. If the stretch on the neck was better with the head drop to the side, go back there. 3 or 4 breaths, 5 or 6 breaths. Anytime you want to change your sitting position, please do. When you're done, you'll drop one hand, and then the other hand, we're going to roll the head to midline, let it hang forward. So always back to center when we're done. And then we'll roll over to the other side. So right ear to right shoulder or left ear to left shoulder, whichever one you just did, do the opposite. And the head is dropping down. Some few breaths right there, noticing when you choose to go deeper. If you choose, the hand on the same side of the head will drop. Again, we're not pulling, taking a few breaths into that. And then turning the chin so you're looking into that armpit, letting your head fall forward. Not pulling here either, just the weight of the arm is being drawn down with the weight of the head. And then we'll bring the opposite arm up, reach to the ceiling, bend your elbow, touch your shoulder blade. And again, if the stretch feels deepest here, with the head hanging slightly over to that right, the hip, stay there. If you got a deeper stretch with the ear dropping, please go back there. At least 3 breaths where you feel it most. And if you have a tighter side, be sure you're staying there a little bit longer than the other side. And when you're done, your head will hang forward. We'll pause. And then we'll lift the head back to neutral. One more piece. We're going to bring our legs out in front of us. Knees are bent. Toes are up. We're inhaling, bringing the arms overhead, looking up, squeezing the shoulder blades back, and then we're exhaling, grabbing the toes. Let the toes pull you forward, 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 forward. Feel the stretch on the back of your body. And then inhale, lift the toes, pull the elbows back, press the ribs forward, squeeze the shoulder blades, and maybe challenge your heels into a different position. And then we'll point and stretch through it. And inhale and bring it back up. You want to do a few of those warm-ups. The closer to your body you bring your heels, the lower down the spine you're likely to find your stretch. So keep exploring into the leg movement, into the position. And then when you find that sweet spot that really feels like it's the tightest part you've found, you're going to stay. Letting the toes pull you forward, pulling the heart away from the toes. Toes pull you forward, heart pulls back. And when you feel like you're done, you'll lift the toes, squeeze the elbows back, shoulder blades onto the back. One more time, maybe stay there a few breaths. If you can really feel the muscles responding to that, it's a good piece to really squeeze tension out and build some strength back into those muscles. And when you're done, you release, lie on the back. I'm going to roll it out a little bit. Those of you who actually like to roll on your spine, you might go there. And those of you who really like to hug your knees into the chest, press the shoulder blades down, lengthen. Maybe stay there. When you're ready, those of you who like to go into shoulder stand and plow, you're perfectly primed for that. And then bringing yourself down into a nice savasana when you're ready for that. So take a few moments, and then when you're ready, if you prefer a bolster or something behind your knees, please go there. Arms out to your sides, maybe legs are flat, maybe you like legs up the wall. Whatever your preference is, let the whole body settle and integrate. Take your time. Let your body just melt right through the floor. And gently bring your focus back into your breath. Again, we'll feel the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale. No control, just observe. When you feel ready to move, curl up on your side. And when you feel ready to move again, bring yourself up to a nice, comfortable sitting position. Eyes closed. Once again, find your breath. Let's bring hands to the heart in prayer mudra. Feel the changes inside you. Be safe, be well, do your practice. There will be more of these to come. We love you, we miss you, we'll see you very soon. Namaste.